Oh man, it's been a while since I've recorded a Texans prediction video. Actually, no, it hasn't. See, what happened was I had already recorded one, but some injury news, some big injury news came out regarding the Texans, so I had to scrap the first video, and this is the second video, the updated videos, because I really do believe with this player being out for the Texans, it changes a lot of things. A lot of things, so I couldn't just upload the other video because I did name drop him quite a lot in the first video, the original video, but yeah, I just had to make a new one. It sucks, but it is what it is. Anyways, though, let's just get to talking about this Texans and Chiefs game now. This is the NFL kickoff game. First time the Texans have ever played in an NFL kickoff game, so I think that's pretty cool, pretty neat, awesome, and all that good stuff. Obviously, this is a rematch from that playoff game, January 12th. We don't talk about that, but this is also a rivalry game. Patrick Mahomes versus Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson went up to Arrowhead week 6 and beat Patrick Mahomes, but then Patrick Mahomes beat Deshaun Watson in the game that really mattered in the playoffs. And here they are again, meeting week 1 in the regular season opener, or actually the season opener. So, yeah. Now, let me just mention this. The Texans are currently on a week 1 losing streak dating back to 2017. 2017, Tom Savage starts. He ruins that game. Deshaun Watson comes in at halftime, and the Texans lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars. The following year, 2018, Deshaun Watson was coming off a torn ACL. We were up in New England playing the Patriots, and the Texans lost. And then, of course, last year, week 1, Monday Night Football against the New Orleans Saints. Yeah, Deshaun Watson brought us back with 40 seconds left on the clock, and the defense completely botched the game, and Will Lutz kicked the 57-yard field goal to give the Saints the win. So the Texans are currently on a 3-game losing streak on week 1. Will this be the game that the Texans break that losing streak, or will they have 4 straight losses on week 1? I don't know. We're about to find out here pretty soon, though. Now, another thing worth mentioning is it is a primetime game, and we know our boy Deshaun Watson is going to be ready for this game. Deshaun Watson shows out on primetime, and it's funny because in the past, before Deshaun Watson, before O'Brien, the Texans were god-awful on primetime, and I feel like that's an understatement. They'd go out there on primetime. Didn't matter who they were playing. They could have been playing the Mark Sanchez-led New York Jets, and they would either have an extremely close win, and that was rare, or they would get completely smacked around and embarrassed. Or if they were playing an extremely bad team, and this one comes to mind right away, 2011 Thursday Night Football versus the Colts in Indianapolis against, I don't even know who the quarterback was at the time, probably Dan Orlovsky. The Colts were tanking that year. They went 2-14. One of those wins came against the Texans. Why? Because the Texans just couldn't play on primetime. But everything changed when Deshaun Watson got here. Things started changing when O'Brien came here, and then it completely changed for the better when Watson finally got here in 2017. The Texans started playing better on primetime, and that's when they're at their best, especially Deshaun Watson. He plays his best when the lights are at their brightest. So, Watson is going to show up to this game. But enough about that. Enough about all the little intros and stuff. Let's talk about these actual matchups. And let's start off with the Chiefs offense versus the Texans defense. Now, right off the bat, you just have to mention Patrick Mahomes, arguably the best quarterback in the NFL. And I say arguably only because I think very, very highly of Russell Wilson. I mean, the dude puts his team on his back every single year. No defense, terrible defensive line, terrible offensive line, but the Seahawks are always in the playoffs because of Russell Wilson. At least for like the past, 2-3 years, he's been doing that. And I expect him to do the same thing this season. But, we're here to talk about Patrick Mahomes, though. The dude, he gets it done. Like, you think the play's over, but he ends up throwing on the run across his body for a completion. Like, it's just crazy the things he does. I mean, very strong arm. Not the strongest arm in the NFL, obviously. That goes to Josh Allen. But see, the difference between Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes is actually accurate. Josh Allen is not. So, yeah, Patrick Mahomes is definitely someone that I feel like you just cannot stop. You just gotta hope to contain him. Like, you're not gonna completely shut down Patrick Mahomes, but you can definitely hold him to under 400 passing yards and like hopefully under 3 passing touchdowns and that type of stuff. Like, you're not gonna stop him. Like, you just can't. He's that type of player. So just contain Patrick Mahomes. Like, you can't stop him. Now, let me say this. I was keyword comfortable with our corners versus their wide receivers. When we play the Chiefs, usually it's not a Tyreek Hill and Sammy Watkins, and then that completely tears apart. It's always someone else, and we'll get into that here in a bit. But I was fully expecting to go into this game healthy in the secondary, but it just came out that Garyon Conley has been put on IR due to his ankle that hasn't completely healed yet from the ankle surgery he had earlier in the offseason. So, Garyon Conley's out. And to me, that is huge. Look, I trusted Garyon Conley to completely shut down Sammy Watkins. I don't think too highly of Sammy Watkins personally. Roby, he's not going to shut down Tyreek Hill, but he's done a very good job on Tyreek Hill when they've played here, at least in the regular season game and the playoff game. Like, Tyreek Hill is never the one that gives us problems. And, with Garyon Conley, I was like, okay, yeah, you know what? He's going to erase Sammy Watkins from the game. Because, one, I don't think too highly of Sammy Watkins. And, two, I think very highly of Garyon Conley. I do think he's our best corner. Now that Conley's out, yeah, that goes out the window. I still think Roby will definitely be on Tyreek Hill. And I think he's going to do a good job. Obviously, he's not going to shut him down, but he's going to contain him. And I have no idea who they're going to have on Sammy Watkins or Mecole Hardman, because something that does worry me is Mecole Hardman going to get more playing time this time around? Because last year it was Tyreek, Sammy Watkins, and the other guy, was it Robinson? Robinson doesn't scare anyone. Let's be real here. But now Mecole Hardman with that speed paired up with Tyreek Hill, that's kind of scary. So, yeah, I am definitely worried about who's going to play on that second Chiefs receiver, whether it's Sammy Watkins or Mecole Hardman. Like, it's probably going to be Phillip Gaines or Keon Croissant, and I don't trust either of them. Now, some people are saying Lonnie Johnson, but I don't think it's going to be Lonnie Johnson. And if it is Lonnie Johnson, then that just creates problems elsewhere for the Texans, and we'll get into that right now. Something else. Our defensive line should have a lot of success versus the Chiefs' offensive line because they just don't have one. Besides Mitchell Schwartz, nobody else on that offensive line is good. Eric Fisher, dude's a scrub, and they don't have a left guard, center, or right guard because their right guard opted out of the season. So, yeah, the Texans' defensive line should have success against the Chiefs. Our new pass rushing unit, obviously merciless, better win some one-on-ones against Eric Fisher. Now, Mitchell Schwartz and J.J. Watt are going to battle it out all day. Schwartz will win his, Watt will win his. That's just how it is when, two great players go at it. But the guys that really have to make plays are, like I said, Whitney Merciless, Charles Omenihu, who has been named the starter opposite J.J. Watt. He's going to have to make some plays. Obviously, in the regular season, he had that strip sack before halftime to set up a Texans touchdown to go ahead. He made a big play there, and hopefully he's able to do some more of that. Ross Blacklock, Jacob Martin, obviously, they have to make some plays because last year in the playoffs, they could not get any pass rush going. And obviously this time around, J.J. Watt isn't going to be playing with the torn pec, so that definitely helps the Texans. So, yeah, I do feel very comfortable with our defensive line versus their offensive line. And the Chiefs' run game, it just doesn't worry me at all. I mean, one, like I said, their offensive line is not good. Two, I don't think they have a good pure running back. And three, the Chiefs just don't run as much. You know, like they'll probably run like 14 times a game because they don't really have to run. They can just air it out all day, and they'll win like that because they can. So, yeah, their run game doesn't worry me at all. So, let's talk about the things that do worry me. Like I said, the whole who's going to play on their number 2 receiver thing, like, that worries me. And, you know, for the people that are saying, oh, you know, that's fine, Lonnie Johnson is going to be on Sammy Watkins. Okay, look, I 100% believe Lonnie Johnson would shut down Sammy Watkins with ease. Because I don't think highly of Sammy Watkins. And I think he could shut down Mecole Hardman too. Because he'll probably just rough him up and, you know, make him cry. But the issue with that is Lonnie Johnson into this game, he was supposed to be guarding Travis Kelce. But now that Garyon Conley is out, that goes out the window. Like, the game plan was supposed to be Roby and Conley on the outside while Lonnie Johnson handled Travis Kelce, or tried to handle Travis Kelce. So what are you going to do? Are you going to put Lonnie Johnson on Sammy Watkins and their wide receiver 2, whoever it is, you know, whether it's Mecole Hardman or Sammy Watkins? Or are you going to put Lonnie on Kelce? If you put Lonnie on Sammy, you're stopping Sammy, but Kelce's going to eat, because you could do all these things. You could put Eric Murray on Travis Kelce, but Travis Kelce's going to destroy Eric Murray. Travis Kelce always destroys the Texans. The only game where he didn't destroy the Texans was that Week 6 game in Kansas City. Now, who was on Travis Kelce that game? Lonnie Johnson. Lonnie Johnson was able to stop Travis Kelce that game. But in the playoffs, it was the complete opposite. Travis Kelce obviously exploded for over 100 yards and 3 touchdowns. Travis Kelce was the reason why the Chiefs won that game. If Lonnie Johnson would have been able to contain Travis Kelce that game, the Texans would have won. Like, Travis Kelce was the one that destroyed the Texans that game. Now, what was the difference? What was the difference between the playoff game and the Week 6 game in the regular season? Well, if you guys didn't know, shout out to Texans Unfiltered. They sat down with Lonnie Johnson earlier in the offseason, and they asked him that question. Like, what was the difference between the Week 6 game and the playoff game? Now, obviously, Lonnie Johnson got hurt, but that's not the reason why, like, Travis Kelce went off against us in the playoffs. The reason was Kansas City started hiding Travis Kelce in the playoff game. In the Week 6 regular season game, Lonnie Johnson was able to be physical with Travis Kelce at the line of scrimmage. I mean, we know that about Lonnie Johnson. He is a physical corner. He's like, 6'3", over 200 pounds, very physical. So he was able to rough up Travis Kelce at the line of scrimmage and disrupt them off his route and mess up the timing with Patrick Mahomes. In the playoffs, the Chiefs started putting Travis Kelce in the backfield, and that let Travis Kelce get some free releases, so Lonnie Johnson was never able to get his hands on Travis Kelce and disrupt the route. And, you know, pretty much Travis Kelce was winning as soon as the ball was snapped because Lonnie Johnson was not able to get his hands on Travis Kelce. Now, since that worked in the playoffs, I am 100% expecting that to be the case again. They'll probably have Travis Kelce lining up in the backfield again. I mean, it would only make sense. I mean, Andy Reid is not dumb. So, yeah. What are you going to do? Are you going to put Lonnie on Travis Kelce and see if he can get the job done now? Because we've seen Lonnie Johnson put the work in. He's going to be a good player for us. But can he stop Travis Kelce here? Or are you going to put him on Sammy Watkins and let Travis Kelce run free against like Eric Murray? I've seen some other plans. Okay, maybe you put Eric Murray on Travis Kelce and have A.J. Moore playing safety next to Justin Reed. Now, I don't mind A.J. Moore playing safety next to Justin Reed, but I do not want Eric Murray playing on Travis Kelce. So, to me, with this whole little situation here is kind of pick your poison. Do you put Lonnie on Travis Kelce and potentially let Sammy Watkins and Mecole Hardman run free? Or do you put Lonnie on those wide receivers and, you let Travis Kelce destroy you? Because Eric Murray's not going to get it done, man. He's just not. Now, something else that worries me is Clyde Edwards versus these linebackers, man. Now, I said earlier in this video that the Chiefs don't have a good pure running back. But when I said pure running back, I meant like someone that can actually run the ball. Clyde Edwards, he's a very dangerous receiving back, and that worries me because I can already see it. One-on-one man coverage, McKinney versus Clyde Edwards. Who's going to win? It certainly isn't Benardrick McKinney, man. Probably not even Zach Cunningham's going to win that matchup. Probably not even Dylan Cole. Clyde Edwards going to be very dangerous for the Chiefs, and I expect the Chiefs to use them quite a lot, especially since their offensive line is at a huge disadvantage versus our defensive line. I expect the Chiefs to come out with a bunch of little quick passes to negate our pass rush. So all that is what worries me, and in conclusion, honestly, I see the Chiefs having a lot of success versus the Texans simply because Garyon Conley is out. If Conley was in, then that'd be a different story. But he's not in. He is out. Now, Travis Kelce is dealing with a knee injury. He was limited in practice today, but I expect Travis Kelce to play. And when I say today, I meant Monday, the 7th of September. So, yeah, just clearing that out there. Let's move on to the Texans offense versus the Chiefs defense. Now, let me just say this. The Chiefs on defense, they lack talent. Besides Chris Jones, they don't have anyone out there that's any good. Frank Clark, overrated. Tyrann Mathieu, overrated. Now, they do have Tre'Davious Ward, who could be something good, and Juan Thornhill, who I think is going to be very good as well. But other than that, it's just a bunch of Jags. And if you don't know what that means, it means just another guy, like nothing special. So I expect this Texans offense to completely shred this Chiefs defense. I mean, the Chiefs have no corners. Absolutely no corners to keep up with Will Fuller and the boys. Like, who's going to stop Will Fuller? It ain't going to be Tre'Davious Ward. Breeland's out because he does PEDs. Brandon Cooks, who's going to stop him? Randall Cobbs, Kenny Stills. They're not stopping them, man. They're not stopping them. And their defensive line, besides Chris Jones, is pretty much non-existent. Like, they have no one out there. Like, they don't have linebackers either. We should be able to run the ball all day. Actually, the Texans will be able to run the ball all day. Even though I'm not a big fan of David Johnson, David Johnson should have a lot of success running the ball and catching the ball because they don't have linebackers athletic enough, good enough to keep up with David Johnson and Duke Johnson. So the field is pretty much wide open for the Texans. They have no coverage backers. They have no good pass rush besides Chris Jones. Simply putting this, man, the Texans can do whatever they want to this Chiefs defense. Now, the keys to a Texans win: number one, you gotta keep your foot on the gas pedal. You have to. Obviously, last year, they went up 24-0. And, well, they went up 21-0. And then they let their foot off the gas pedal. And I say 21-0 because the Texans were at a 4th-and-1 situation at the Chiefs' 19-yard line. If they would have went for it, they would have easily gotten it, and they would have scored again, and it would have been 28-0. And at that point, the game's over. But they opted to kick the field goal, and it gave the Chiefs momentum. And the big kick return happened, and everything just kind of went out of control after that. So, the Texans absolutely have to keep their foot on the gas pedal. Number 2, you have to limit the big plays, and usually the Texans do a good job at this against the Chiefs. They don't let Tyreek Hill get 65-yard touchdowns and stuff like that. You cannot let that happen this game. You just can't. But I feel pretty confident about this one. They never let that happen. Number 3, help Lonnie Johnson with Travis Kelce. I'm not saying, double cover Travis Kelce. I'm not a fan of double covering players. But what I mean by helping Lonnie Johnson is, if J.J. Watt or Whitney Merciless see Travis Kelce coming out of the backfield, hit him, chip him. You're allowed to do that, so disrupt him a bit, just enough for Lonnie Johnson to get his hands on him and really put the clamps on him like he did in Week 6. And the last thing, try not to have McKinney on Clyde Edwards. You can do sack, maybe sack and get the job done, obviously not consistently. You could do Dylan Cole. Dylan Cole's more athletic than Sack and McKinney, obviously, but I just do not want to see McKinney. McKinney, one-on-one with Clyde Edwards is not good. So please, no McKinney on Clyde Edwards. I would prefer no linebackers on Clyde Edwards, but there will be some plays where obviously they're going to have to be matched up, but I just prefer that not to be Benardrick McKinney. Now, time for the actual prediction. I am going 48-44 Texans win. And before Garyon Conley got hurt, I had this as a 45-34 Texans win. I really do think Garyon Conley makes that big of a difference. If Garyon Conley would have played this game, I knew the Texans were going to win. If Conley was healthy, I could guarantee a Texans win. But now that Conley's hurt, this turns into a crazy high-scoring shootout type of game. I feel like in this game, the Texans don't ease off, and they're going to stick with the Chiefs all game long. I think the Texans will struggle against Clyde Edwards, Travis Kelce, and I think they'll also somewhat struggle covering the wide receiver 2s for the Chiefs, whether it's Sammy or Mecole. And I honestly think whoever gets the ball last will win this game. Like I said, if Conley would have played, I can guarantee a Texans win. But without Conley playing, I can't guarantee that, man. I am still picking the Texans because I feel like the Chiefs will come in here all cocky and oh yeah, we beat these guys. Oh yeah, we're Super Bowl champs. And the Texans are going to come in here looking for revenge, and Deshaun Watson will end up with the ball last in his hands, and he will drive down the field and score a game-winning touchdown with a few seconds left, and at that point the game is over. And when I mean a few seconds left, I mean less than 5. I'm not talking about a Saints situation like last year with 40-ish seconds left, because with 40 seconds Patrick Mahomes can easily drive down the field and score a touchdown. But I feel like we will get a game-winning touchdown in the last seconds with Deshaun Watson. To who? I have no idea. Probably someone random like Cullen Gillespie just to make things fun. But no. Yeah, I do see the Texans barely squeaking by against the Super Bowl champs. I see this game being a very fun game, very high scoring, a good way to kick off the season. And yeah, those are my predictions for the Texans Week 1 game against the Kansas City Chiefs. Comment down below your own predictions and be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.